my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We're live, large and in charge. It's a Thursday morning, and at around about this time, we get into baby talk, a very exciting part of the week for especially us, the dads here. Now, there's a lot for us to learn when it comes to the basics of breastfeeding, and today in studio, we have clinical sister and internationally certified lactation consultant from Tula Baby Center, Tasha Perriard, to provide us with some breastfeeding tips for moms. And we're here to take notes because it's important for the dads to be involved as well.
Don't get all judgy with us because you've got two guys having a breastfeeding conversation here, but we both obviously have relatively young boys at home, so we've gone through this alongside our partners, and it is a massive thing. And we're talking to officially a baby whisperer. We both went to Tula, and I'm in awe of how you guys are, and you were such a massive resource to us, so thank you so much for that. But let's get to the heart of the conversation, because I think there are a lot of misnomers or maybe misinformation about breastfeeding, but ultimately, you know, you hear it being described as the best or the healthiest option. Is that the case? Is breastfeeding best for your baba?
So breastfeeding, of course, is best for your baba. And I mean, the benefits of breastfeeding are absolutely endless. So we all want to breastfeed our baby, we wish to breastfeed our baby. So, I mean, to start with the benefits of breastfeeding for the mom and the baby, it's a hugely bonding experience. So every time a mom breastfeeds, she gets a huge rush of oxytocin. The baby gets oxytocin. So oxytocin is the love hormone, it's the attachment hormone. So it's a really wonderful experience for mom and baby. Other benefits, I mean, we know that breast milk is absolutely liquid gold for our baby. So it's full of antibodies and full of immunoglobulins. Components can protect against allergies, diabetes, obesity. So it really is absolutely liquid gold for our babies.
Yeah.
Millions of years of evolution.
Absolutely. But of course, it can also be quite a stressful process, especially in the initial stage. And so let's talk to the point of how moms can actually best prepare for breastfeeding, and what do you do if the breast milk doesn't come in time? Because you expect it to be there in the first 3 days, 4 days, right?
Yes.
If it doesn't come in time, what do you do?
So I mean, I guess the biggest hurdle to breastfeeding is anxiety. So a lot of moms feel like they can't breastfeed or they won't be able to breastfeed. So, you know, I think a lot of moms like to have control in their life, and having a baby makes you feel completely out of control. So breastfeeding is the unknown, and we kind of expected to breastfeed, but a lot of us don't know how to breastfeed. So our bodies and our pregnancy prepares our breasts beautifully for pregnancy. Our bodies know exactly what to do. And the key is to get help early. So many moms we see, you know, 2 or 3 days down the line, and their nipples are cracked and bruised and bleeding. And, you know, babies can trash your nipples very, very quickly. So the best thing to do is to get help early. So get help from a lactation consultant. There's a great resource here, lots of lactations around the Western Cape. So it's just a matter of finding a person that can help you really early.
And the preparation part of it, is there a way that mom can prepare herself?
Not really. So I mean, you know, some moms ask me if I need to, like, you know, they need to lie out in the sun and suntan their nipples, or somebody asked me if they could brush their nipples with a toothbrush. Definitely not. So
you're not advising either of those two things.
Definitely not. So yeah, the best thing that you can do is just let your body do what it's supposed to do, and maybe just investigate a lactation consultant so that there is someone there that can help you.
I mean, with just about every baby talk that we have, we stress the fact that every journey is going to be completely different. So don't expect to tick every box in exactly the same order. Likewise, when you're weaning off and wanting to move on to a solid diet, how long should you be? Is there a medium of how long you should be breastfeeding for?
So, I mean, the World Health Organization recommends breastfeeding for up to 2 years, but a lot of moms can't achieve that or don't achieve that. I mean, moms in this country go back to work at 4 months, generally 4 months. And even though you can carry on breastfeeding when you do go back to work, sometimes moms' milk supplies drop a little bit. But the most important thing is that you breastfeed for as long as you're happy and as long as your baby is happy. And you've got to remember that it's a relationship between the two of you. So as long as your baby's happy and as long as you're happy, and sometimes your baby's ready to stop breastfeeding before you are, and that's sad. And sometimes you're ready to stop breastfeeding before your baby's ready, and that's sad for your baby as well. So yeah, you know, our recommendation is you just carry on breastfeeding for as long as you're both happy.
Yeah, a very delicate and important part of parenting.
We'll talk about the third wheel in the breastfeeding.
A very important third wheel. A very important third wheel. We'll continue our conversation with Tasha very shortly.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
very happy Thursday to you and welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show Express on SABC3. So good to be in your company as we continue Baby Talk with Tasha Perriard, internationally certified lactation consultant, because today we're focusing on breastfeeding as a part of the parenting journey, a very important aspect thereof for both mom, baby, and dad as well, or partner involved. And so let's kickstart this segment by asking that question about how a partner can get involved and what is his or her role in the entire breastfeeding picture.
So I think everybody thinks that the partner of the mom has got absolutely no involvement at all.
Yeah.
But it's quite the opposite. So it's really important that we do involve the partners in the breastfeeding. So coming to the antenatal classes, coming to the breastfeeding classes, when the moms come to lactation consultant, to include them in the appointments as well. So partners can just help from an outsider point of view, because when you're breastfeeding and learning how to breastfeed,
yes,
everything feels quite kind of claustrophobic, and you've got your baby here and you're trying to position. So to have somebody, an extra set of hands, you actually need 3 pairs of hands at the beginning to learn how to breastfeed. So just having somebody to really assist to even to help with the baby opening their mouth and putting the baby on at the right time. And there's so much research to show that the involvement of the partner can lead to much better and longer breastfeeding outcomes. So
absolutely.
It's really important.
And a better bond as well.
And a much better bond, and to get involved.
For the whole family, in fact.
For the whole family, exactly.
Absolutely. A lot of moms might want to ask if they can go back to work while breastfeeding. Is that possible?
Yes, so it's definitely possible. So as I was saying before, most moms go back after 4 months, but plenty of moms carry on breastfeeding, a year or up to 2 years. So many moms breastfeed in the morning, they pump at work, they pump again at work in the afternoon, and then they come home and they breastfeed their babies in the evenings and the night time as well. And legally, everyone is supposed to have 2 breastfeeding breaks a day. So your employer should be allowing you to have 2 breastfeeding breaks a day of half an hour.
Yes.
Unfortunately, some workplaces, they don't provide a space for you to breastfeed, and some moms end up having to go to the bathroom or the kitchen, and that's not really ideal. So, so ideally, we want a place where moms can breastfeed in private, so that they can actually carry on breastfeeding.
Yeah, certainly a lot more work needs to be done in that department where
and a lot more support.
Work is concerned. Moms do all the work. We had a question here on social media from Lauren Cooper, who says, hi, what happens if you don't produce milk? When will she be talking about it? Well, we're talking about it right now, Lauren Cooper, and maybe this feeds into this question that I have here, talking about the importance of donating breast milk, and so maybe you can share some more information on that.
Yeah, so we all presume that we'll make enough milk. So there's a few cases where some moms don't have a full milk supply. So for example, if you've had breast surgery at all, or if you've got some hormonal issue at all, so sometimes that can lead to a low milk supply. So if you are in the situation where you aren't making enough milk, there's methods that you can do to increase your supply. So power pumping, something called power pumping. So it's all about supply and demand.
Yes.
So the more you pump and the more you feed, the more milk you'll make. There are some medications as well that you can take to increase your supply. Some options are better than others, so this definitely needs to be done under the guidance of a lactation consultant or your GP, your family doctor. So yeah, we don't want to be handing out medication to increase your supply if we don't need to. First prize is to get donor milk.
Okay.
So if we can't get to a milk bank, which I'll speak about just now, then if your friend or your sister or relative is breastfeeding, they can donate their breast milk to your baby in the interim while you're waiting until your milk supply increases. But so the milk bank, Milk Matters. So as you can see, they are associated with Mowbray Maternity Hospital, and the milk donated to these babies, so these babies are micro-prems. They're babies born at 26, 27 weeks. They're less than a kilogram heavy, and it's so important that these babies get this breast milk. So if they get formula at this age, they're at risk of developing a condition called necrotizing enterocolitis, which can really damage their little gut. So for them, possibly their moms aren't well enough to breastfeed, or they're not around to breastfeed. So it's so very important that they do get donated breast milk. So if you're in the situation where you're making a lot of milk and you've got milk to spare, it's really a fabulous thing to do. You'll go straight to heaven if you donate breast milk. So there are a few depots around Cape Town that you can go and drop your frozen milk. So we at Tula Baby Centre are at the depot.
Excellent.
You go have an HIV test, you have a hepatitis B test, which is all paid for by Milk Matters, and you just fill out the questionnaire, and then you come and donate your milk to Milk Matters. So it's
Excellent.
really a fabulous thing to do.
And let's hope it's an initiative that can grow nationwide. I'm not quite sure whether they have a
Yes.
national footprint yet.
Yeah, so various provinces do have their own
Excellent.
milk banks, but yeah, so it's definitely something worth doing.
Yeah. Tasha, great to have you in studio, and thank you very much for the
Thanks
baby
for having
talk
me.
this morning. Of course, you can follow Tasha and the rest of the team at Tula Baby on social media at Tula Baby Centre.